Good evening, everybody. Live from the Wicked Sports Complex on the campus of Husson University. It is the 2022 NEC semifinals with the number 4 seeded Beavers of University of Maine Farmington coming with an overall record of 1-12, 0-6 in NECC play, and the number 1 Husson University Eagles with a 9-5 overall record, a clean 6-0 in the New England Collegiate Conference this season. Eagles vying for their second consecutive NECC championship. They took the crown last season, defeating Thomas College in the championship game in overtime. And it was Farmington Farmington was in the tournament last year. They fell in the quarterfinals to that Thomas College Terriers team. Joined alongside by Zethan Moss. I'm Ethan Snow. Thank you for joining us on what will cap off a busy day in Husson Athletics. Zethan, it has been quite the day to say the least.
Oh, well, busy is right. We have football this morning, some men's soccer that wrapped up a couple of hours ago with the men taking the NAC title. Women's soccer is still going on, down 3-2 to SUNY Delhi in the second overtime period, and wrapping it up with some field hockey today.
Winner of tonight's contest will advance to the NECC championship game, which will be, with the Husson victory, will be right here at the Wicked Sports Complex tomorrow at 3 p.m. The other NECC semifinal taking place just 45 minutes down the interstate in Waterville, where it'll be New England College and Thomas College. They are getting ready to get going as we speak. We'll be sure to update you throughout the contest, the scoring updates between NEC and Thomas College, as we hear the starting lineups being announced through the Wicked Sports Complex public address system. The starting lineups reads as follows: Bailey Casavant, Morgan Town, Allie Bliss, Erica Johnson, Autumn Ditzel, Emma Willie, Janessa Hubbard, Kelsey Williams, Maya Daniels, Tiana McDougall, and Alicia Bridges, as we will step aside and honor America with the playing of the national anthem. All right, we are just about set and ready to go from the Wicked Sports Complex. NECC semifinal, number 4 versus number 1. Winner takes on NEC. The winner of NEC and Thomas College tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eagles looking to advance to their second consecutive NECC championship game. And Zethan, we look at the regular season series between these two teams, and it was Husson rolling in both games.
Yeah, absolutely. The first matchup early on in October, 7-0 shutout, followed by just last week an 8-0 shutout, both going in favor of the Eagles. Now it's a playoff. It's playoffs with sports. Anything can happen. So for the Beavers, it's going to be important, like I said last week, to try and put it in the offensive zone as much as they can, get pressure off of their goalkeeper. And for Husson, it's just keep doing what they've been doing.
Well, with Farmington, they have a very tough task ahead of them, as they will take on a Husson Eagles team that swept the NECC major awards. You have goalkeeper Kimmy Goddard, Defensive Player of the Year. Katie Perkins, who won Offensive Player of the Year. Her younger sister Maddie took home Rookie of the Year. and you tack on Leah Carrier, Mallory Fairbanks, Maya Joy, and Tegan Blackie, will all earn first team all conference recognition. And shout out to Kaylee Eckenrode, who was named to the all sportsmanship team. It'll be Farmington getting things underway at the 50 to start this NECC semifinal. Thank you for joining us on this very mild Saturday evening. Sun getting ready to set, so it will cool off fairly quickly. But just a mild Saturday altogether. Temperatures reached the low 70s at about midday this afternoon. And a very mild first Saturday of November, but we will take it as here comes the Eagles. It's Maddie Perkins with possession. She's got one defender beat. She's got two defenders beat. She's going to bring it into the circle. Pass in the middle. There's a shot, and that one's saved, made. That's Alicia Bridges in goal for the Beavers.
Well, great first look for the Eagles, bringing it up on the left side here, bottom of your screen. And that's really just how you want to start. You want to set the tone early.
So Husson gains possession right back as this one ends up way out of bounds on the far side of the field. Eagles starting lineup looks like this. You got Kimmy Goddard starting in goal, Summer Staples, Katie Perkins, Tegan Blackie, Mallory Fairbanks, Jessica Hart, Leah Carrier, Adele Foss, Maya Joy, Maddie Perkins, and Julia Mertz, the starting 11 for the Eagles tonight. Looking to try to strike first, which they did last week. They struck early in the game last Sunday, which you and I, Zethan, were both here for last Sunday morning. They got an early start against Farmington, scored 3 goals in the first quarter, and they didn't look back.
Absolutely not. They were able to dominate a lot off of the penalty corner and use all of those great scoring chances. But honestly, I think it could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for a great performance by Caitlin Rouleau in goal. Obviously, she's not starting today. That responsibility goes to Alicia Bridges. And we'll see how she holds up to what has been a very good Eagles attack in the last couple of weeks.
As Eagles still having it over in their offensive territory, we have a whistle, and they'll get to take it from just on the far side of the circle. 2 minutes elapsed in the opening quarter this evening. Trying to get a pass into the circle, and that'll be a foul against the Eagles, and the Beavers will look to clear. Pass up to the far side. Farmington in control. It'll be Carrier on the defense, and she will steal this one away. She will look off to the far side. She finds Maya Daniels. And a whistle, and Husson will gain it right back.
Well, already we're seeing Farmington being a little bit more aggressive towards the ball than they were last week. And it's been working so far. Just about 3 minutes gone. And still, no goals for Husson.
Foul goes against Hubbard, going up against Julia Mertz. Mertz gets it right back. She'll bring it back up top. Finds a pass to the middle, finds Katie Perkins, the Offensive Player of the Year in the NECC, as they swing this one into the circle. And it'll be a whistle and the first penalty corner of the evening for the Husson University Eagles. And we have a quick score update for you. Delhi holds on in 2 overtime periods to knock off the Husson University women's soccer team 3-2 in the North Atlantic Conference Final. So SUNY Delhi avenges a regular season loss against the Eagles on the same field. It moves on as Perkins fires a shot from up top. That one's blocked away. Farmington looking to try to clear, in which they do. Be a foul against the Eagles.
Great setup by the Beavers to really create a wall. They saw which way the ball was going and tried to make sure that they blocked it, setting up a wall of defenders in front of their goalkeeper, which could sometimes be a gamble. Sometimes you're blinding your keeper, but in this case it pays off, and they're able to clear it.
Still scrambling for it on the offensive side of the field for the Eagles. This one will be swung up. Here's Perkins, tracks it down, headed towards the near corner. Looking to try to find a way past a couple of defenders. What she does, she finds a pass, dumps it off to Foss. Foss trying to swing around. She gets fouled, and it'll be another penalty corner coming for the Eagles, their second in just a couple of minutes.
And this is where the Eagles really start to break away, is when they start generating those penalty corners, those scoring chances. Most of the time they capitalize on them, but so far, nothing doing yet.
Penalty corner on the way, be taken up top by Carrier. Carrier dumps it off to the far side to Maddie Perkins. Perkins trying to slide that one in there to Blackie. There's a scramble. It finds the net, and that's a score for the Eagles in the middle of the scramble. And Husson strikes first, just like they did last Sunday, and they take a 1-0 lead.
Well, just a little bit longer to get that first score than last week. But getting her first goal of this playoffs is Adele Foss. And she was able to thread the needle, and that one kind of just slowly goes in.
So Foss finds the redirect off the penalty corner, and the Eagles take the first lead of the game.
Foss's 4th goal on the entire season, first of the playoffs.
As we get set ready to go, a little discrepancy in the game clock. They got to do a little reset, and we are ready to go. And Farmington will look to try to respond. Husson will continue to try to keep pouring on. Perkins will dump it off over to the far side, and this will be brought way up the field, past midfield. Tries to dump this one into the middle, tried to find Foss again, just a little too strong. And it'll be a whistle, and that's going to go against Husson. Hubbard with it, with control. Goes up the field, tried to find Casavant. Pass back towards middle. Morgantown tried to track it down. Instead, it'll be Tegan Blackie for the Eagles. She will have her run stolen away by Maya Daniels. Daniels looking up the field. Hard pass on the ground is picked off by Joy. She'll try to get a pass up to Mertz, but it's just a little too strong. Husson takes over. Daniels again on the ground, off the stick of Mertz. Scramble on the defensive side of the field. Casavant middle to Hubbard. Hubbard trying to fight away through 3 defenders. She gets fouled. It'll be Farmington. Up top, and they'll get to bring it up a little bit. It'll be Hubbard. Hubbard trying to get a pass past Foss, but it'll be a foul. And it'll head back the other way. They are underway in Waterville. Just a little 5 minutes into that contest. There is no score. The 6-9 Terriers versus the 11-6 Pilgrims of NEC. Both of those teams 3-3 in NECC play. Here comes Foss down the near side.
Well, already for Farmington, you see them get more into the offensive zone than they did last week. It wasn't until the second half that they were able to really get a decent possession past midfield, and already getting it this time around. So a good early start for them, offensively at least.
Perkins with a hard fire. It goes off Maya Daniels. Mertz tracks it down. Casavant is there. Mertz draws the foul. Kelsey Williams going up against Maddie Perkins. Perkins wins the battle. Perkins goes past middle to Blackie. Blackie gives it back to Perkins into the circle. Perkins drives to the net. She puts on a shot. Save made by Bridges. A great save made. Husson will keep control up top.
Well, Bridges 59 for 131 on the year, about 68% save percentage versus shots on goal. So she's seen a lot of shots this year.
Mertz versus Hubbard. Still Hubbard in control. She brings it up towards midfield, and a whistle will be a Husson foul. Swung up the field. Now a fight for it. That's Staples going up against Nelson. Loose ball up the middle. Taken by Perkins. Perkins fires it up the field. Nobody home in a black uniform. It'll be controlled on the far side by Emma Willie. Willie going up against Lauren Brown. It'll be a whistle against Farmington. Try to swing this one out. It's going to be a pass just a little too strong to control on that far side. And Farmington will look to clear up the field.
The wind's starting to pick up a little bit here.
A little bit of a breeze starting to blow right into this press box. Hopefully it doesn't cool things off too much. With the sun, between the sun going down, a little bit of a breeze. I dressed for the warmer weather today, Ethan. I didn't dress for the fall. They told me it was supposed to be summer like today.
I did as well. But maybe we'll be looking for some cooler weather tomorrow.
Husson still fighting on the attacking side. Here's Perkins. She sends one into the circle. It's going to go off Bridges. At least it appeared to go off Bridges, but it looks like it's going to be the last touch by an Eagle. And Farmington will get a chance to clear. So we know Husson went undefeated in conference play this year, but I want to check to see where the other semifinal is happening across down the interstate in Waterville. Back on October 11th, Thomas defeated New England College 3-2. And New England College defeated Thomas on their home turf 2-0 last weekend. So those teams split 1-1, and they meet in the other semifinal. Here's a scramble for it right in the middle of the net. It's going to be a violation against Farmington, and another penalty corner coming for the Eagles. They scored off their last one. Let's see if they can capitalize on another one.
So another good chance for the Eagles here. It's been a good, probably I would say 5 minutes of game time since they've had one, which somewhat uncharacteristic for the Eagles.
Be taken up top, pass to Perkins. Perkins dumps it off to Maddie Perkins. Gives it off to Carey. Carey with a shot save. Adele Foss is in there. Scramble in front of the net. Save. Bridges continues with the saves. He gets that one knocked out and headed towards the baseline. It is out of the baseline. And Husson will take it up top. But Bridges right there just continuing to kick those shots away. And she finally got that one to scoot away from the net.
Well, what a great job of sticking with it by Bridges. It seemed like there were a couple times where it got past her, but she was able to bring it back and make sure to keep it out of the goal.
Carrier lost her footing. Now plenty of open space for Hubbard to run. Hubbard goes to the middle to Ditzel, but the pass just a little too strong for Ditzel. Fairbanks looking up the field. She does get a pass upfield. Gets it off to Brown. Brown stakes with it. Tries to get a pass in the middle to Maddie Perkins. And Farmington sends it up the field, but it'll be a foul against the Beavers. Katie Perkins. Perkins tried to get past the defender. She does briefly, but it eventually is knocked away. Now Farmington will look upfield. Haley Capano tries to dump a pass off. Goes out of bounds. Husson sticks with it.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. The field already been used heavily today by football, and it was a little bit slippery, I noticed. There were a few people losing their footing as the game wore on, especially. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays in today.
Here comes Perkins. She puts on a shot. It just goes wide. Point blank shot right in front of the goal, and it just goes wide. Had a chance to double the Eagles' lead. And Farmington will get a chance to clear. Sent up the field. It'll be controlled by Casavant. And it'll be a whistle. And it'll head back the other way. Here's Joy. Tried to get one past Casavant. It'll be a dangerous play against Joy. And Farmington will look back up the field their way. Pass just too strong. Carrier tracks it down. And she is stripped. Now Perkins strips Johnson. Katie Perkins looks up the field. Gets a strong pass. Tried to find Kyla Havey, but just pass just a bit too strong.
Well, for the Beavers, I think on offense, they need to try and be a little bit more conservative with their passing. Again, we saw this last week, trying to go for the long passes to set up a scoring chance on basically a fast break, but almost always goes a little bit too far, a little bit too short, and it gets stolen away by an Eagle defender. So calm down a little bit. Set yourself and play some good fundamental field hockey.
Joy dumps it back to Fairbanks. Fairbanks looks up the field far side. Taking down to under 2.5 to play in this opening quarter. Husson has already struck once on a goal off the stick of Adele Foss. Here's Allison Drew. Drew cuts right, has it knocked away. And that foul is going to go against Drew, and Farmington will look to try to clear up the field. Under 2 minutes left in this opening quarter. Here's Hubbard. Switches directions. Gives it up top to Casavant. Casavant gives it up to Ditzel. Ditzel trying to dump it back up to Casavant. Casavant looks up the field. Pass just too strong. There's Katie Perkins. Perkins can move all over this field with ease. She swings it up the field. Tried to find Havey. She does have Havey. And that one's going to be knocked away. Here's Drew. Under 90 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Drew finds Katie Perkins up the middle. Perkins looking around. Finds Drew. And before, and a foul is going to go against Adele Foss, and Farmington will look to back up the field once again. This one's going to drift all the way out of bounds. And that's where Husson will take back over. Under a minute left to play. And the best thing for Farmington right now is Ethan, if they can keep this a 1-0 game going into the end of the quarter, that would be, consider that a small win for them, as they gave up 3 the last time they were here.
Yeah, absolutely. They had one scoreless quarter against Husson, and that was last week. But again, 30 seconds left. Anything can happen.
That'll be a foul against Farmington. Husson trying to extend this lead in the final 30 seconds. Perkins changes directions, tries to fire one in there. Amanda Frost trying to get into the play, and she's going to draw a penalty quarter with 17.3 seconds to play. And Husson, just like that, has a chance to extend this lead.
Yeah, anything can happen in about 30 seconds. We're looking at the Beavers defense limiting the Eagles to just 1 goal, and now here's a great chance for the Eagles to change that.
Drew jumps up top to Katie Perkins. Perkins dumps it off to Carrier. Carrier with a low shot, save made. Trying to fire another one off the rebound. That one finds the back of the net. It's a score. With 3.2 seconds to play in the opening quarter, Husson doubles the lead. It's 2-0. Lauren Brown gets credit with the goal off another penalty corner with 3.2 seconds to go. And Zethan, as you mentioned, it doesn't take long, especially for as fast as Husson likes to move the ball. And just like that, it's a 2-0 lead with just 3 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well, we looked at Farmington moving its way down the field into the offensive side. And again, a little bit of a dangerous pass. Gives it off to the Eagles. And they capitalize on a penalty quarter chance, extending their lead to 2-0.
As the quarter runs out, it's 2-0 Husson off from goals from both Adele Foss and Lauren Brown. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, well, the second quarter coming at you, and we'll also check in on things down in Waterville. You're watching the 2022 NECC semifinals on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
Husson makes it a priority of theirs to make sure each of their students are well-rounded and that we're prepared to go into the future.
I mean, it's very rare to have a college that can emphasize the professor-student interaction, and Husson hits it right on the head.
Instead of just, sitting in the classroom, it's a great way to get hands-on experience. I'm actually out here doing things and seeing how things work.
After being here and meeting the people, I decided this is where I wanted to be, that there was no better option for me.
Back live from the Winkin Sports Complex. It's the 2022 NECC semifinals. Number 4 versus number 1. It's the Beavers and the Eagles. Winner advances to tomorrow's NECC championship game versus the winner of New England College and Thomas College. That game also underway. They got underway the same time we did here tonight. And after one quarter down in Waterville, it is 0-0. And I checked of course, I mentioned the season series between those two teams, and the home team won each game.
Interesting.
So Thomas won when they were in Waterville, NEC won when they were in New Hampshire, and that game took place just last week. So New England College winning the most recent game between the two. And so they are underway down in Waterville, and our second quarter is underway right here. Husson with a 2-0 lead. Adele Foss and Lauren Brown each with goals. Lauren Brown's coming with just 3.2 seconds to play in that first quarter, and those two goals have been off penalty corners. And speaking of penalty corners, we have our first one of the second quarter.
And this is a little bit more of what we expect from this matchup, especially with Husson dominating offensively, 8-0 again in the last matchup here last week. Most of those off of penalty corners.
Murch, pass up top. Pass back to Katie Perkins. Perkins with a shot. Kick save made by Bridges. It's going to trickle out of the end line, and it'll be last touched by Husson, and Farmington will get a chance. We'll get the clear. What a save made by Bridges on a point-blank shot, and she kicks it away.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been very solid in goal so far. She's faced 5 shots, saved 3 of them. You know, it's not a great score, but still, when it comes to percentages, and that's what you really look for, she saves most of the goal or most of the shots.
Perkins in control. Has one defender to beat. That's Daniels. She's got some space now. Tries to jump this one into the circle. It's Blackie. Blackie with a shot. Kick save made by Bridges. And it'll be a whistle and a foul called against Husson. And again, Husson generating opportunities. But Alicia Bridges is there. And so far, besides the 2 goals on the scoreboard, she is not letting much through.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree. They've put a lot of pressure on her so far. The stats may only say 6 shots, but it feels like a lot more than that. And especially, again, like I mentioned, just about 68.9% save percentage on the year. The goals allowed average just over 5, but that's purely because she's seen so many shots.
Murch tried to dump this one up to Maddie Perkins. Scramble for it. 3 versus 1, Eagles and 1 Beaver, and it'll be a foul called against Husson. Daniels will look up the field. And it'll be a whistle against Daniels, and Husson will go right back down the field with it. It'll be Katie Perkins. Perkins splitting her way through a couple of defenders, tries to get a pass into the circle. It's too strong. Blackie was there to try to redirect it. But Farmington will get a chance to clear. This one heads up the field. It's out of play. Husson in control. Murch goes to Foss. Foss cuts right to left. Foss still with it into the circle. Foss behind the back pass in the middle of the circle, and another whistle, and another penalty corner is coming for the Eagles.
Well, it was a great move by Foss initially to try and get into the scoring zone, and was able to generate a penalty corner chance.
So another penalty corner coming for Husson. They've scored on 2 of them tonight. And looking for plenty more. 7-0 win and an 8-0 win against the 2 matchups against Farmington this season. Penalty corner on the way up top to Katie Perkins. Perkins has 1 defender beat, trying to split between 2, and a whistle, and another penalty corner is coming. Perkins tried to fight away past 2 defenders and drew another foul. It'll be Julia Murch taking this one. Murch goes to Carrier this time. Carrier goes to Maddie Perkins. Perkins pass, shot, scores! And that one might have been redirected by Blackie. And the Eagles take themselves a 3-0 lead.
Well, already what was working for the Beavers early on was pressing up a lot defensively. Now that's starting to hurt them because it's a little bit easier to get by somebody if they're closer to you. So I think the Beavers got to spread out a little bit and see what works. Got to kind of adjust as the game goes on. One game plan will not stick with you the entire time.
So Tegan Blackie makes it a 3-0 game. And there'll be a foul against Husson right here. Trying to get a pass up. It's picked off by Murch. Murch versus Hubbard. And it'll be a foul against Murch. Hubbard tried to send that on up the field. Taken away by Murch. Trying to get a pass up to Maddie Perkins. Perkins takes this one. Perkins trying to split a couple of defenders. She's going to get called on the foul. Excuse me, no, it's going to go against Farmington. Here's Foss. Pass outside to Perkins. Back to Foss. Foss trying to make a run into the circle. Foss trying to beat a couple of defenders, and it's going to be knocked away. But in the process, they're going to draw the foul, and it's going to be another penalty corner on the way.
And here we go. This is probably going to be an onslaught of penalty corners to open up this second quarter. This is what we saw to open the first quarter in the game last week, was about 6 or 7 consecutive penalty corners within probably about 5 minutes, and that was the 3-goal run that put the Eagles on top for good.
Mertz to Carrier. Carrier with a shot. Save made by Bridges. She kicks this one out, and it's going to head out of bounds. And again, Bridges keeping a lot of shots at bay. Here comes Maddie Perkins. Tries to get onto older sister Katie. Murch goes to Carrier. Carrier tries to split a couple of defenders. A foul against Farmington. Pass to Katie Perkins. Perkins into Foss. Foss redirect goes just wide. And Farmington will get a chance to clear. Oh, excuse me. It's going to stay with the Eagles. Perkins swings it up to the near side. Maddie Perkins bats it down. Tries to get a pass to Foss. Foss ends up with it. Foss turns. Was on a shot. He gets deflected, and another deflection again. It'll be a foul called against Husson, and Farmington will get a chance to clear this time. .9:40 to play in this first half. Husson leads it 3-0. Looking to try to advance to tomorrow's NECC championship game, which will be right here at the Wicked Sports Complex at 3 o'clock start. Ethan and I will be right back here tomorrow afternoon. Here's Murch. Murch along the baseline. Comes to pass into Carrier. Try to get it to Foss. And it's going to be batted away. Carly Ramsdale in the play as well. There's a pass. Kick save made by Bridges. Another rebound, and there's going to be a foul in the process and another penalty corner on the way for the Eagles.
Well, that was a great chance for Foss. It was just a little bit out in front of her as she's trying to really hit it in on the one-timer to deflect it. But just out in front, and she kind of knuckleballs it.
9:03 to play in the half. Murch up top to Katie Perkins. Perkins to younger sister Maddie. Gives it back to Katie. Katie behind the back. Shot. It's going to get deflected, and she's going to get called on the dangerous, and Farmington will clear. Swung up the field. Farmington trying to get it back into their offensive zone for the first time this quarter, and they're going to do it. Try to dump that one out to Casavant, but Casavant had her back turned to the ball and instead out of bounds. Husson gets it right back.
Well, it was a great pass attempt. It was perfectly on the line. You'd think it would roll out, but obviously a little bit of a miscommunication there.
Phoebe Carlock comes into the contest. Maddie Perkins trying to fight her way past Williams. It'll be a foul. Murch will decide. She splits a couple of defenders past, gets it up to Foss. Foss will change directions. She loses her footing, ends up falling to the turf, and she will draw the foul in the process. Here's Katie Perkins. Perkins fires into the circle, tries to get it off to Ramsdale. Ramsdale gives it back up to Foss. Foss tried a shot, but it's blocked away. And it'll be a foul against Farmington, and a penalty corner is on the way. And Maya Daniels doesn't like that one bit. 7:33 to play in this second quarter.
Well, already seen 10 shots on goal. That's not a fun number to be facing if you're Alicia Bridges.
Pass up top, Katie Perkins. Perkins with a shot. That one's blocked by Daniels. Perkins trying to gather it right back up. And Daniels going to get called on the foul, and another penalty corner is coming. So another penalty corner coming. This one off the stick of Murch. Gives it up top to Perkins. Perkins to Carrier. Back to Perkins. Perkins with a shot. That one's blocked away. Trying to stick with it on the rebound. Another whistle and another penalty corner.
Well, a lot of these possessions end in a penalty corner just because of the nature of the sport. There's so many different fouls that can be called. And the Eagles can really capitalize on a lot of those. But a couple of interesting possessions when it comes off of a penalty corner recently.
So Murch takes it again. Gives up top to Katie Perkins. Perkins to Carrier. Carrier with a shot. Save made. Trying to knock it back out. Murch is back there. Trying to get it off to Maddie Perkins. And another whistle. And lo and behold, another penalty corner on the way. 7 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the second quarter. Julia Murch. Passed up top. This one she'll go to Carrier. Carrier gives it back to Murch. Murch fires with a cross. Picked up by Perkins on the far side. Her shot goes wide. And Farmington will finally get a chance to clear this one out.
Boy, finally a breather for the Farmington defense. They've had it in their own zone for almost the entirety of this quarter.
So Farmington trying to generate any sort of opportunity that they can. Katie Perkins gives it off to Foss. Foss switches directions, decides to go to her right. Fired into the circle. Carlock was there. That one's knocked away. Farmington will get a chance to try to get this onto the offensive end of the field, but it's going to be stolen away. Far side of the field. That one's knocked out of the baseline. Husson will keep. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to play in this first half. Husson looking to add to their lead. Farmington trying to stop the bleeding and trying to generate any sort of offense that they can. Quick score update for you. Still tied up 0-0 down in Waterville between NEC and Thomas. That is the 2 versus 3 matchup in the NECC semifinals. Winner of that matchup and the winner of this matchup meet for the championship tomorrow afternoon at 3. Here's Katie Perkins. Puts on a fire. Another kick save made. That one finds the back of the net, and that's another score. Looks like Perkins found Foss again. Excuse me, Maddie Perkins on the score from that one. From Adele Foss. And the Eagles have themselves a 4-0 lead.
Well, it feels like forever since the Eagles have last scored, but still commanding lead 4-0 here in the second quarter. And just a great possession.
So Farmington back at it again, looking to try to climb back into this one. Farmington has scored 1 goal all season long, and that was a 1-0 victory over Dean, their only victory of the season so far. Have been shut out in every single game other than that one. Blackie. Down the near side, tries to dump it into the circle on the baseline. Gives off to Carlock. She puts on a shot. Kick save made by Bridges. Farmington trying to clear it out. Picked off by Murch. Murch dumps it off to Perkins. That one's taken away. Daniels trying to steal it past Murch. Murch trying to dump this one to Katie Perkins. Katie Perkins puts a shot. Bridges kicks it away. And it drifts just to the left. I think a little mix between Bridges' foot and the post. Knocked that one just wide.
Well, it went right between Bridges' legs and off the post. So tough break.
Here's Frost up top. And a whistle. And it'll be a foul, but not inside the circle, so Husson will just take it back up from up top. Katie Perkins trying to get by Daniels. Sun going down, lights coming on here from the Wicked Sports Complex on just a beautiful Saturday evening. Unseasonably warm today, Ethan. Temperatures reached the low 70s. I was on the call for the football game earlier on this afternoon, and let me tell you what right now, that is going to be the warmest game. That's going to be the warmest game in November I think I've ever called outdoors.
I would have to agree with you on that one. Over there in the baseball press box on the radio, it was pretty toasty as well. And I didn't have to be in a full suit for that one, so you must have been pretty warm over here as well.
I did have to shed the jacket, I will admit.
I don't blame you on that one.
Have a score update for you in Waterville as this one drifts right in front of the net. It knocks it off of Bridges, but they're going to say it was last touched by Husson, and Thomas will get to clear this. Farmington will get to clear this one out. Thomas has got on the scoreboard. 27.5 minutes into the contest, off the stick of Julia Rennie, her first goal, and the Terriers lead it 1-0 in the second quarter down in Waterville. Here's Blackie along the baseline, somehow keeps it in bounds, tries to dump it in front of the net. Now a scramble, a whistle, and it's going to be a foul against Blackie, and Farmington will look to clear.
Well, like you mentioned, so unseasonably warm for this time of year, especially November. And now it's cooling down pretty quick.
It's still November, so as soon as that sun goes away, it does not take long at all.
No, definitely not.
Far side, dumps it back into the circle. Here's Frost. Has it knocked away, but she gets fouled. And another penalty corner coming for the Eagles. Just over 2.5 minutes to play in this second quarter. 2:38 to play. Husson with a 4-0 advantage in this NECC semifinal. Looking to try to get back to the title game tomorrow. Pass middle. Goes to Perkins. Perkins with a low shot. Another kick save made by Bridges. Blackie puts on a shot and she scores.
Well, a great adjustment by Blackie. She handles some heat off the stick of Perkins and corrals it and is able to adjust it, turns around and beats the defense off to Bridges' right.
So the Eagles take a 5-0 lead, and I have another score update for down in Waterville. just about a minute after the fact, Michaela Vincent finds the back of the net and ties the game at 1 between NEC and Thomas College. That game, of course, taking place down in Waterville if you are just joining us. Winner of that contest, that's a 2 versus 3, takes on this 4 versus 1 for the championship tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Here's Joy. Finds Perkins. Way off to the far side, that's Taryn Crummett. Ball ends up out of bounds, but it will stay with the Eagles.
Well, like you mentioned, that matchup, NEC and Thomas College split the season series, so you can see why. They've got a lot of fight in them.
The home team won the match. They played twice. The home team won each. Thomas won in Waterville. NEC won in New Hampshire. That game took place just last Saturday. Farmington trying to get any sort of momentum. As we are now down to under 90 seconds to play in this first half. Carlock dumps it off to Crummett, and it's going to end up out of play. But Husson will keep possession.
Well, and as we saw, the time really doesn't matter for Husson. As long as they can get a penalty corner or get it into the zone, they can score pretty quickly.
Up top, Murch. Gives the pass off to Foss. Foss with a shot. Gives it off to Blackie, and she scores again. And Tegan Blackie has herself another goal on the night. Amanda Frost tacks on the assist. The Eagles starting to pour it on here in the second quarter. It is a 6-0 advantage. Just under a minute to play in this half. Blackie scores her second goal of the quarter in just a couple of minutes as well. Frost past midfield. Havey trying to track this one down, which she does. Trying to beat Daniels down to the near corner. Havey gets tripped up to the ground. That'll be a foul against Daniels.
We've already seen the turf monster eat a few today.
Hun goes past middle, try to get that one into Frost. It'll be a foul against Husson. Farmington will look to just try to clear it up the field as much as they can to try to run out the final few seconds. Down under 10. Joy with it, and she's just going to keep it right to herself, try to run this time out. 2 seconds, 1, and that's how the first half comes to an end. Eagles pour it on in the second quarter, scoring 4 goals in this quarter. And they take a 6-0 lead into halftime against the number 4 seeded Beavers of University of Maine Farmington. So with that, we're going to step aside and take a timeout. But when we come back, we'll have the second half coming up for you. We'll give you another score update from Waterville, and we will recap the day's events, which has been such a very busy day. From Husson University, from Zethan Moss, I'm Ethan Snow. We'll be back. You're watching Husson Eagles Field Hockey in the 2022 NECC Semifinals on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
5 years ago, we started this journey of recycling. And with that same ingenuity, with that same innovation, and with that same entrepreneurship, we're approaching our next 45 years. We have an obligation to figure out how we can consume less, how we can recycle more, how we can create more sustainable products, and how we help our customers enable that.
We owe it to the future generations to continue to do better and recycle better.
Selling is all about relationships and building trust. At Greenway, it's our people that have built the business. We're fortunate to have a team with years of experience. They know John Deere equipment inside and out and go the extra mile to take care of our customers.
And right now is a great time to talk to one of us about a new tractor. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months on a John Deere compact utility tractor. Nothing runs like a Deere.
From Greenway Equipment Sales, family owned and operated since 1994.
Choosing a school is really difficult, but I have never felt like I should have gone somewhere else.
The thing I like about the school, the class sizes are smaller.
Making friends is easier here because of the fact that you are such a tight-knit community.
I was shooting around a basketball. That's how I met my first friend.
You meet a lot of new people from different areas of the world.
I feel like I've grown so much here. And there's so many amazing people that work here to learn from.
I definitely made the right decision coming to Husson.
If you want a place where you can be seen as an individual and know what you're doing and have a career to look forward to, this is your place.
Back from the Winkin Sports Complex on the campus of Husson University, we are at halftime in this 2022 NECC semifinal matchup. Number 4 Beavers and the number 1 Eagles. Husson poured it on late in the second quarter, and they have a 6-0 lead if you are just joining us. And the Eagles have been getting a barrage of goals from a lot of different players. We take a look at the scoring summary. Katie Perkins has an assist on 8 shots as well, but the big story so far of the game, Tegan Blackie, she's already got her hat trick in the first half.
Yeah, it's just a very high-powered offense for the Eagles coming out, especially off of the penalty corners. You've seen Blackie get a couple of great plays as she's deflected one in. She's been able to handle a hot pass from her teammate and really turn it around and pull it right into the goal, beating the defense.
Adele Foss got the Eagles scoring going first. She added a goal very early on in the first quarter. And then, of course, Maddie Perkins has a goal and an assist. Adele Foss has an assist as well. Leah Carrier with an assist. So overall, Zethan breaking out the air guitar next to me. But overall, all in all, has been a very dominant game from the Eagles in the first half, which is what we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's exactly what we've expected. But for Farmington, they've been able to generate a couple of good chances to head downfield, but some risky passing to try and generate a good scoring chance hasn't worked out for them on their end.
And we really do have to point out the performance in net from Alicia Bridges, getting the start in goal for the Beavers here tonight. So far, 11 saves on 18 shots, and the damage could be a whole lot worse, but Bridges is doing the best that she can.
Yeah, absolutely, and her teammates are definitely helping out as much as they can. Like I said early on, they've been trying to press up a lot on defense, which has worked out most of the time, but then there's been a few times where it's caused a lot of goals to leak through. So changing up the game plan a little bit can certainly benefit them, but so far it's working out well.
Want to give it right before we get this second half underway, we'll give you another update from Waterville, and they are all tied up at 1 in the 3 versus 2 matchup between the Thomas College Terriers and the New England College Pilgrims. Pilgrims got a goal from Michaela Vincent. The Terriers get a goal from Julia Rennie. And those goals happen within about a minute of each other, just a minute and change of each other. So we talked a little bit about it in that first half, Ethan. That game is expected to be close. They split the regular season series. The home teams got the victories. Thomas won in Waterville in the regular season, and NEC got the victory in New Hampshire. That game occurring just last week, so that game could go all the way down to the wire as the second half is underway from the Winkin Sports Complex. We are fully under the lights now. Final shades of dusk starting to fade away off to the west. And I know I've pretty much beaten this like a dead horse today, but just can't get enough about this weather in the first weekend of November. and it feels like a summer night out here. Like this,
Yeah, it really does.
This just reminds me of being back in Sanford at the ballpark during the summertime. It is absolutely beautiful out here this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for November, this weather has been fantastic. Almost a little bit too warm, I would say. I'm more prepared for the cooler weather at this time of year, but still some great weather.
Here comes Carrier on the near side. Eagles trying to pour more on in this second half as they will bring it into the circle. They will draw a foul, and that will be the first penalty corner of this second half. Over on the far side, it will be taken by Allison Drew. Drew came into the night 2 goals and assists, 5 points on the season. Drew up top, gives it off to Joy. Joy puts on a shot, save made, it drifts just wide of the goal, and Farmington will get a chance to clear everybody out.
Well, like you mentioned, it's been a great performance for Bridges in goal, and you see another one there that she kicks away and allows her team to try and make a play.
Off to the far side, that's Frost, Amanda Frost, and we're going to have a whistle, and it'll be a foul against Husson. And the Beavers will look up the field. NECC championship game tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Right now it looks like Husson is well on their way to getting to a chance to defend their NECC championship. They are the defending NECC champions. Also took home the NECC crown just a few years back. So Husson Field Hockey with a lot of success in the recent years.
And they're also set up for success in future years. There's a decent core of seniors at the moment, but a lot of young key contributors, especially on offense for them.
This one dumped into the middle, try to get it off to Frost. Maddie Perkins tracks it down on the near side. She brings it off to the near corner, sends it into the circle. It's too strong, out of play, and Farmington will get a chance to clear everybody out.
Now, on the note of advancing with a commanding lead at the moment, for Kimmy Goddard, she hasn't seen a live shot in game in what will be about 3 weeks, starting tomorrow. So, interesting to see how that would play into a potential spot looking to go for the championship.
Yeah, looking back at the Eagles games from the last month or so, Eagles currently riding a 5-game winning streak. They finished off the season on a 5-game winning streak. They got shutout wins over Thomas twice, 2 3-0 victories over Thomas, and of course the 7-0 and 8-0 victory over University of Maine Farmington. And the last time she conceded a goal, you got to go all the way back to the New England College game when they went out to New Hampshire to play New England College and conceded 2 goals in what ended up being a 5-2 victory for Husson. But you mentioned it's been almost 3 weeks that she's been almost 3 weeks. It'll be almost 3 weeks that she's actually faced any sort of shot. So Goddard trying to stay vigilant back there, but at this point in time, just really a spectator.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying to do her best to cheer on her team, but again, there hasn't been much activity in her side.
Just looking down there right now, you can see her. She's just trying to stay loose, stretching out a little bit, just trying to stay moving. As down on the other end of the field, we have another penalty corner coming. This will be taken once again by Allie Drew. Drew, pass up top, goes to Joy. Joy, pass to Fairbanks. Fairbanks with a shot, kick save made by Bridges. Fairbanks sends that one back in there. Crummets in the play. Bridges is on the ground. It's a scramble for it, and it ends up in the back of the net. Dirt right in the middle of the scramble, and the Eagles tack another one on.
Well, that was kind of a mess, but it works out in the Eagles' favor.
Allie Drew just somehow somehow gets her stick in there and gives the Eagles a 7-0 lead. It is Drew's 3rd goal of the season, and it comes here in this semifinal game. 10:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Eagles lead at 7-0. The Eagles will get a chance to Eagles trying to once again tack onto their lead as they'll dump this one far side over to Havey. Havey trying to keep it in bounds, which she does. Havey goes back up top. Gives it in to Drew once again. Drew going up. Drew trying to go up against a Farmington defender, trying to keep that one in play. It ends up out of play, and it will stay with Husson up top. Be up top. Kaylee Eckenrode. Ups the pass back. Eckenrode trying to stay in the play, trying to send it back on the field. Erica Johnson. Johnson gives it up to Nelson. Drew going up against Ditzel. Ditzel trying to clear this one up the field.
Well, Eckenrode got a lot of playtime last week on senior day. She took most of those penalty corners for Husson, serving them up to her teammates.
Fight for it on the far side. Frost trying to keep it in control, trying to get by Maya Daniels, and it'll be a whistle, and it'll be a foul called against Daniels. It'll be from outside of the circle. Pass up to Joy. Joy trying to send this one in. Gets a pass into Crummett, and that was going to be knocked away out of bounds. And Farmington will get a chance to clear.
Well, Maya Daniels has the lone goal on the season for Farmington in her senior year, of course.
There'll be another whistle and a penalty corner coming once again for Husson. And Allie Drew will jog over, and she will take another penalty corner. She just scored the most recent goal for Husson. 8:47 to play in this third quarter. 2 goals in the first, 4 in the second, and 1 so far in the third. Pass up top, gives it to Joy. Joy dumps off to Fairbanks. Fairbanks has it stolen away. This one back into the circle, and it just goes wide. Drew tried to tuck that one home, but a misfire, and Farmington will get a chance to clear. Under 8.5 to play in the third quarter.
Again, Husson, who had a quiet first quarter in comparison, really generating a lot of chances consistently at this point in the game in the third quarter.
There was a lot of penalty corners, especially in that second quarter, that really propelled Husson to that big lead to really pour it on. They had 4 goals in that second quarter, and it was really all thanks to the penalty corners. They just kept drawing them and drawing them and drawing them. And eventually they did, well, Bridges did the best that she could, just knock them away and save them.
There's only so much you can do.
Exactly. There's only so much you can do, especially against this pesky Eagles offense that has plenty of weapons that will eventually find the net.
Oh, pesky is a great word to describe it.
Here's Eckenrode to the near side. Try to get one past Nelson. Goes out of bounds off Nelson. Eckenrode was named to the All-Conference Sportsmanship team for this season. Just one of a full list of first team accolades, and of course Husson sweeping all the major conference awards. Goddard, Defensive Player of the Year. Katie Perkins, Offensive Player of the Year. Her younger sister, Maddie, Rookie of the Year. And you add Carrier, Fairbanks, Maya Joy, and Tegan Blackie all to the NECC first team. Fairbanks over on the far side. Gives it off to Perkins, and Perkins will take off to the races up the far sideline. And she is going to get a bump, and it'll be a foul. And another foul, this one drawn by Frost. And be a quick stoppage, Husson. Far side, trying to dump it up top. It's a loose ball. It's going to be picked up by Daniels. Daniels trying to knock this one away. There'll be another whistle. This foul is going to go against Husson. And we have a score update from Waterville. NEC has taken a 2-1 lead in the third quarter. NEC, that is 2 unanswered goals for the Pilgrims. Drea Chin scored that goal for the Pilgrims, so they lead at 2-1, trying to advance to tomorrow's NECC championship game. Thomas trying to win and set up a rematch of last year's conference title game. This one ends up in defensive territory, tracking it down, Ruby Kitchen.
So you see now Farmington has backed off a little bit in terms of defense, in terms of pressuring the Eagles when they get past midfield. But they're still trying to keep it a little bit tighter than they were last week.
At this point in time, just damage control for Farmington, doing their best just to try to keep it the score as low as they possibly can. So when we jump up top just a little too strong for Avery Baker, be tracked down on the far sideline. Pass middle. Dumps this one into Frost. Frost turns around, puts on a shot. That one knocked away. Be taken by Crummett. Crummett with a shot. Kick save made by Bridges. He gets it back up. Puts on another shot. Tries to get that one into Carlock, and it goes wide. Last touch by a Beaver. Husson will keep control. 4:35 to play in this third quarter. Katie Perkins tries to find Frost. Frost to Eckenrode, gives it into Crummett. Crummett puts on a shot that goes wide and is knocked out to the far side, and it is going to roll away, but it'll be a foul against Husson, so NEC will look to clear.
Well, just another great job of sticking with it are the Beavers on defense, specifically Bridges in goal. She stuck with it, or excuse me, that's actually, they've swapped back over to Caitlin Rulo in goal.
So Rulo in net. Couldn't quite, our bad, couldn't quite catch that at the start of the quarter as Husson trying to get this one back in there, and they're going to draw another penalty corner, this one with 3:36 to play in the third quarter.
Well, the point still applies. Great job of sticking with it. Still facing a huge volume of shots. Rulo was in goal for the entirety of last game, just last week.
Eckenrode takes this penalty corner, goes to the far side with it. Was on a low shot. Kick save made by Rulo. And another whistle, and it'll be a foul against Husson. And the Beavers can look to clear this one away. Fired up the field, Perkins. Rolls out of bounds, tried to get it to Baker. Taken over on the far sideline. We'd like to take a moment to thank today's game sponsors, Performance PT, designing a healthier you, Greenway Equipment Sales in Ellsworth and Bangor, Nothing Runs Like a Deer, Governor's Restaurant in Casella, giving resources new life. Ball ends up out of bounds. It'll stay with Husson up top. Katie Perkins will control for the Eagles. So we tick down to 2.5 to play in this third quarter. Comes to the Fairbank. Fairbank starts to fire it down. The Eagles draw the foul, and here comes another penalty corner. And here comes Eckenrode to take it.
Like you said, yet another penalty corner, but doing a good job are the Beavers so far.
Eckenrode. Pass up top. Gives it off. De Perkins puts on a high shot. It's going to be knocked down by Rulo. It ends up out of play. Husson will keep possession. Tries to get a pass in the circle to Frost. Frost into a scramble. And Daniels is going to run away with it, trying to clear it up the field. Knocked away by Perkins. Perkins manages to keep it in bounds, swings it up the field, way too strong, and out of play. Still a 2-1 game in Waterville as they approach the end of the third quarter. New England College with a 2-1 lead so far. They are approaching the final 15 minutes of this one as we are here. Under 90 seconds to play in this third quarter as we have a foul. It's going to go against Baker. Morgantown swings it up. Perkins goes up the field with it, tries to find Crummick, just a little too strong. Ball out of play. It'll stay with the Beavers. This one swung up the field. A little too strong for Eckenroe to try to pick off. Ditzel looking up the field to try to beat Perkins. She's got Perkins all over her, and Perkins is going to take this one away from her. Perkins is going to get tripped up by Daniels. Did not hear a whistle. It ends up out of play, so Husson will keep possession. 25 seconds of counting to play in this third quarter. Husson with a 7-0 advantage. They've only scored 1 goal this quarter. And we have a whistle. It'll be a foul right outside the circle. Husson has one more shot here. As Perkins will have to track this one down outside. She'll fire it into the circle. It's out of play. And the time is going to tick down, and that will mark the end of the third quarter. Husson tacks on another goal. They lead at 7-0. 45 down, 15 minutes left in this 2022 NECC semifinal game. Husson looks like they are well on their way to advancing to tomorrow's championship game. We'll have the final 15 minutes on the way for you. You're watching the 2022 NECC semifinals on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
Husson makes it a priority of theirs to make sure each of their students are well-rounded and that we're prepared to go into the future.
I mean, it's very rare to have a college that can emphasize the professor-student interaction, and Husson hits it right on the head.
Instead of just, sitting in the classroom, is a great way to get hands-on experience. I'm actually out here doing things and seeing how things work.
After being here and meeting the people, I decided this is where I wanted to be, that there was no better option for me.
.45 minutes down, 15 minutes to go in this 2022 NECC semifinal game. Number 4 Farmington, number 1 Husson. Winner goes to the championship game tomorrow, and it looks like Husson is well on their way to get a chance to defend their NECC title. Joined alongside by Zethan Moss, I'm Ethan Snow, as the Eagles will send in sophomore Riley Andre into the goal, replacing Kimmy Goddard. Goddard with another easy night for her, so she'll get to spend the rest of the game watching from the bench. Did not face a single shot at all tonight. As a matter of fact, I don't even think the ball came within 30 yards of her tonight.
No, I think you're right, Biggie, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays into tomorrow. Like we mentioned earlier, not seeing live shots. There's nothing that you can do in practice that will simulate a real game. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow, as it looks to be New England College leading at the moment.
Yep, 45 minutes down, 15 to go, down in Waterville, where New England College leads Thomas 2-1. NEC with 2 unanswered goals so far. Thomas got the scoring going first in the second quarter, but NEC answered right back about a minute later. Here's a shot down inside the circle. Kick save made by Rulo. Blackie trying to keep it alive. She loses the handle. Back to my point. NEC then tallied another goal in the third quarter. That one off the stick of Drea Shin. And NEC leads 2-1. They won the last matchup against Thomas just last weekend in their regular season finale. 2-0 was the score. Thomas trying to come back, at least even the score in that game.
Well, again, now in goal for the Eagles is Riley Andre, from sophomore out of Glenburn, Maine. She's seen 4 shots on the year in 3 games and has saved them all.
Andre attended Orono High School. Foss gets a pass into the circle. It bounces around. Rulo just kicks it away. It'll stay in bounds. Tracked down on the far side by Perkins. Pass too strong, ends up out of play. Husson will keep possession. Pass in, gets it up to Drew up top. Drew will dump a pass, tries to get a pass off to Carrier, who just manages to keep it in on the near side corner. Brings it in to the circle, try to get it past to Crummett. It's going to be attempted to clear by Farmington's number 6, Erica Johnson. There's a fired shot, it goes wide of the net, and Farmington will get a chance to clear.
Well, for Farmington, it's a little bit of a rebuilding year as they come into this contest with a 1-11 record. But again, a good foundation for them, especially in goal.
Yeah, goaltending definitely getting a big chance to build this year, and hopefully with a little bit of help, with a little bit of recruiting help and some more development from the young players that they got, Farmington will look to definitely improve on this season, as another penalty corner will be coming for the Eagles. 11:46 to go in the fourth. It'll be Julia Murch on the far side. Still 2-1 down in Waterville as they are in the final 15 minutes there, about a minute into that fourth quarter. Carrier dumps this one off to the far side. Rulo got drawn out briefly, but it'll be cleared out by this Farmington defense. And they will look to try to just swing it up the field. Fairbanks. Scramble for it over on the far side is Daniel. She'll win the battle. Try to swing it down that far sideline. Tracked down again by Murch. Quickly loses the handle. Gathered up by Ditzel. She'll just send this one down that far side. And that Husson back line, who hasn't had much for work tonight, sends it out of bounds. And here comes the Beavers. Hubbard going up against Perkins. It's out of bounds. Hubbard and the Beavers will keep it. Pass in the middle. Finds Foss. She steals it away. Now Foss looks up the field. She's got one defender beat. Now she's got some space to run. Had Blackie, but had that one knocked away by Daniels. Now a fight between her and Daniels for the ball. Daniels gets it up the field. And it'll be a whistle against Husson. Now Farmington with a little bit of a chance here. They get it into the circle. I believe that's for the first time tonight, but the Husson defense all over it. This one would just be tried to get a pass back up the field. As Hubbard beat. Dumps it to the near side to Carrier. Carrier's got a couple of defenders beat. Carrier sticking with it. Trying to beat Johnson. Does a spin move around Johnson. Tries to get a pass up the field. This last touch by Johnson. So Carrier will keep.
Well, good offensive possession for the Beavers. Like you said, I do believe that was their first time getting it into the scoring zone. but still, a very good look for them heading into an off season that recruiting will be very important for them.
Foul against Husson. Daniels swings it up the field. Hubbard controls. Trying to beat Mertz. Drew tracks it down. That's over the far side. Now Mertz with it all by herself up that far line. Tried to find Katie Perkins, but the pass is way too strong. It's out of the end line. And Farmington will get a chance to clear. Perkins controls. Gets it over to Foss. Foss, and it'll be a whistle. It'll be against the Beavers. Under 8.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Husson in no hurry at this point. Looks like they're well on their way to head into tomorrow's championship game. Perkins tries to get this one into the circle. There's a scramble. Daniels clears it out. Taylor Nelson with it now. Nelson, the carrier steals it away. She tried to get around the defender. Gets fouled. Perkins sends this one into the circle. A little bit of a scramble for it. And it'll be a whistle. It'll be a foul against the Eagles, and Farmington will get a chance to clear.
Well, Farmington has kept it clean in this fourth quarter so far and able to really negate those scoring chances for the Eagles. But again, the Eagles, like you said, in no hurry.
Farmington sends it up the field, but the Husson defense is all over this one. On the play, that's number 16, Ella Lauder. Sends that one out of play. Coach Diane Ramsey getting a chance for the younger players on this team to get some minutes, some playoff minutes as well in this 7-0 contest. Here's Foss.
It's always so important to try and get your younger players to get that experience. A lot of times you see them come in and maybe they're starting for the first time in the playoffs, and it's a little nerve-wracking, especially if you haven't been there in a while. But it's always good to try and spread the minutes out, especially when you have a really gifted offense.
Town gives it off to Hubbard. Hubbard trying to split a couple of defenders, but it's going to be stolen away. Fairbanks looks up the field, fires this one. Hard fire way outside the circle. It goes all the way behind the football goalpost back there and all the way back to the wall.
But a gutsy take in goal.
Carrier with it on the near side. Trying to get by Daniels, which she does. Gives it into the circle under pressure from Daniels. Tries to get one into the middle. Carrier goes to the ground. No foul. Daniels trying to clear it out. And there's a whistle, and that'll be a foul called against Husson.
Again, we've seen a lot of slips and slides on the turf. And there's been no precipitation in a few days. But I think the unseasonable warmth has definitely heated up, maybe drawn out a little bit of moisture on the ground.
Frost trying to force a shot in there. It's going to go wide, and that clears away. And yeah, Zethan, I'm no expert on that type of thing.
I'm not either, but it's speculation.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I got nothing to contradict that, so we're going to go with it. I believe it 100%.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit slippery between the football game earlier today and so far.
I noticed that too. There did seem to be some slipping and sliding going on. Just a little bit of slipping and sliding going on, a little bit more than normal during that game. As there's a shot attempt, it's going to be blocked away, but a foul against Farmington, and here comes another penalty corner attempt. Nothing new to update down in Waterville. Still a 2-1 lead for NEC. They are at the 52-36 mark of that contest. Getting down to the real nitty-gritty. Thomas running out of time if they want to try to tie that game. Penalty quarter out on the far side. Perkins with a behind the back shot, and it finds the back of the net. Scores. And Husson gets on the board in this fourth quarter. And they're going to give that one to Riley Poulin, the junior from Oakland, Maine. Poulin, don't see her a whole lot in these contests, but she finds the back of the net there, and she gets on the scoring barrage, and it is an 8-0 lead for the Eagles.
Well, Riley Poulin, that's her first goal on the year. Only had one shot prior to this. So a great feeling to get a playoff goal.
So Poulin, add her to the long list of scorers here tonight. And Husson has just matched their goal amount against Farmington 6 nights ago, from back on last Sunday. With 4.5 minutes to play in this one. So Husson is going to be well on their way to a berth into the NECC championship game, as just got a quick update as NEC puts a dagger into the heart of Thomas. They now lead at 3-1, just a little over 8 minutes to play down in Waterville. So NEC in good shape right now. That's 3 unanswered goals for the Pilgrims.
Yeah, I think a matchup between the 1-2 seed, it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow, as it looks like we're well on our way to that matchup.
So a 3-1 lead for NEC, getting down to the final few minutes of that one, just like we are here. Husson with the 8-0 lead, now down to under 4 minutes to play. Ball just out of bounds. It's number 2, Olivia Ward. Flies out of play. It'll stay with the Eagles. Katie Perkins will bring it to the far side. Just fires one down in there. There's a shot, save made. Trying to keep this one alive. There's a scramble for it down towards this near side, and they're going to call a foul. It's going to go against number 11, Emma Willie. And Husson's going to get a penalty corner out of the ordeal. That third goal for NEC scored by Drea Shin. She scored the second goal of the day, and that one assisted by Michaela Vincent, who scored the first goal for the Pilgrims. Here's a shot fired down, and it's going to end up out of play. It'll stay with Husson up top. Three minutes to play in the contest. Perkins goes off to Joy. Ball just back towards midfield. And it'll be a whistle and a foul called against Maya Joy. Farmington thought about going on a run, but they lose the handle. They give it off to Frost. Frost trying to split her way past a couple of defenders. It's going to be knocked away. Pass to the near side. Pass up top. There's a shot. That one knocked away. That'll be a foul called against Husson. Taking down to 2 minutes and counting to play in this contest. Husson was in control from very early on. At the moment, lead at 8-0. Mark that 16 goals the Eagles have scored in the last 2 games, both against this Farmington squad.
Which is a very impressive number. I've put up 29 shots so far tonight, and really for the Eagles offense, it's a great momentum boost heading into a championship game tomorrow.
But right now, all signs point it's going to be the Eagles versus the Pilgrims. NEC with a 3-1 lead over the Terriers at the moment. Taking down inside 4 minutes to play down in Waterville. Taking down under 90 seconds to play here from the Winkin. Eagles are going to put an exclamation point on what has been a very busy day for Husson Athletics here today, as the ball finds the back of the net, but it was shot from about midfield. And for those unfamiliar in field hockey, you can only score if you're inside the red circle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the unique things about the sport. You know, you see there's different scoring zones in other sports, but not. There's never a spot in any other sport, I don't believe, where you can't score.
I was about to say, in basketball, you can shoot the ball from anywhere if you want to. It's not sensible, but you can.
You can.
You can pull up from the opposite three-point line, and it's not the most sensible thing in the world.
But it still counts.
It still counts. In football, you can try to throw from the opposite end zone. It might work.
Might work, might not.
Might not. You never know. I mean, you can kick a 95-yard. You can kick a 95-yard field goal. You can try.
And probably won't work, but you never know. I mean, we saw a one-play drive earlier.
As there's a foul called against the Beavers. We are inside the final 30 seconds here from the Winkin. Daniel's just going to send this one up towards midfield, and they can just let the ball sit there. Take it down to 5 seconds 4, and that is just about going to do it. The Husson University Eagles are going to get a chance to defend their NECC championship tomorrow afternoon. They defeat the Beavers 8-0, and another dominant victory for this Eagle squad.
Well, for the Eagles, a great momentum boost heading into tomorrow's matchup, and that appears to be against New England College right back here tomorrow. And I think it should be an exciting game on our hands tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still a few minutes left, so you never know. Something could change. But at the moment, NEC in control, down to under 2.5 minutes to play down in Waterville, and NEC still in control 3-1. While we wait for that one to go final, we'll go over and recap what happened here at the Winkin tonight. And it all starts with the hat trick, the first half hat trick. That's right. 3 goals in the first half from Tegan Blackie on 4 shots.
Yeah, it's a very impressive performance for her, especially a couple of tough, very smart goals as well. Able to generate a couple of plays. Generally, you would see a pass off to another teammate in a couple of positions that she was in, but pulls it around and finds the net several times.
So Blackie leads all scorers with 3 goals. Adele Foss added a goal and an assist. Katie Perkins, no goals tonight, but she did tally an assist on 8 shots. Her younger sister Maddie, the Rookie of the Year in conference, 1 goal, 1 assist on 5 shots. And everybody got a chance to play tonight, which is very good to see. And even the bench got some goal production as well. We saw Riley Poulin, her first goal of the season. Allie Drew added a goal as well, along with Lauren Brown, all tallying goals, and Amanda Frost tallying an assist on the night as well. So the Eagles with another dominant 8-0 win. Their second in 6 days over the Farmington Beavers, who wrap up their season 1-13 overall on the year. And as we mentioned many times, Ethan, a rebuilding year for them. A lot of work to do. We'd like to see, they definitely would like to see them try to rebuild that program back up and get a chance to compete in conference. So they will make the not-so-long bus trip back to Farmington as their season comes to an end. And the Eagles will get to go home. They'll get to go back home. They get to rest as we are down inside the final minute from Waterville, with NEC still leading 3-1. So NEC at the moment looks like it is going to be Eagles versus the Pilgrims for the NECC Championship tomorrow afternoon right here at the Winkin Sports Complex at 3 o'clock. Zethan, you and I will be there. Should be in for a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think tomorrow, if we get some good weather again, maybe a little bit cooler, so we're not quite dying up here. But
the last I checked, it is supposed to be a decent day tomorrow. As we still wait for the Waterville game to go final, want to make sure we have the matchup set for you to set the stage. But 2 goals from Drea Shin and a goal and assist from Michaela Vincent is the scoring summary for the Pilgrims so far. 3 unanswered goals in that contest, going all the way back to the second quarter. They are in the final minute in Waterville. And Zethan, since you brought it up, I will check the weather for tomorrow. And it looks like we're in for another warm one tomorrow. Tomorrow, 70 degrees as the high.
Ooh.
70 degrees, might be a little bit more cloudy than it was today, but still should be in, says cloudy for the most part, but we're still going to touch 70. So it'll be another good day on tap to crown a NECC champion. And you can watch that game right here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network, as a Husson athletics team will try to claim their second conference title of the season. Just to recap what happened today, we just capped off a very busy day in athletics. We saw Husson football get a 13-point victory against Nichols College earlier on this afternoon. We saw the Husson men's soccer team claim an overtime victory for their first conference title since 2014 and a 1-0 victory over SUNY Delhi. And the women's team was in action against Delhi as well. They came up short 3-2 in overtime against SUNY Delhi, but can't say enough. 2 very successful seasons for both soccer teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, 2 very successful seasons. And for the women's team coming away with the NAC East title, again, they fell short a little bit last year against Maine Maritime Academy and really just a heartbreaking loss. Got a little bit further this year, but still another heartbreaking loss for them. But again, led by Natalie Aviola and her 18 goals on the season. She's coming back to next year, hopefully, and they should field another great team.
And we do have, and the game in Waterville has now gone final. It is the New England College Pilgrims defeating the Thomas College Terriers by a final score of 3-1. So your NECC championship game is set. It'll be the Pilgrims and the Eagles right here at the Wicked Sports Complex for the NECC championship. The Pilgrims are the only conference team to have scored against Husson in the past month or so. Husson 2 shutouts against Thomas, 3 against Farmington, but a 5-2 victory over NEC out in New Hampshire just a few weeks ago. So should be interesting. We'll see how everything pans out. Especially, we'll see how Goddard responds. We expect her to actually see some shots on net tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, trying to just keep this offense, keep the ball rolling for the Eagles. Excuse my pun. But
So that is just about going to wrap things up here from the Wicked Sports Complex on what has been a busy but a fun day and a warm day from Bangor, Maine. We hope to see you tune in again for tomorrow's NECC championship game, 3 o'clock, New England College, Husson University. Husson looking for their second consecutive NECC championship. One final time, Husson 8-0 over the Beavers. From Zethan Moss, I'm Ethan Snow. Have a good night. You've been watching the 2022 NECC semifinals on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.